Welcome to today's theater craft. I'm so glad you're here with me today because we're doing a really cool project. So today I have taken musical theater posters and I put those posters into ChatGPT and I asked it to create an inspired kind of faux stained glass panel. And then we're taking those and we're creating these kind of panels that look like stained glass of, obviously this is Little Shop of Horrors, and then this is the one we're going to do today, and this one is obviously inspired by Wicked. Now, you don't have to do musical theater posters. You could certainly take, a photo of your pet. You could take a photo of your vacation home or, where you went to camp this summer or whatever. So we're going to take images and we're going to create faux stained glass panels. Okay, let's get crafting. Okay, so I want to start here in ChatGPT, and I wanted to show you basically what I did to create the stained glass look. So I uploaded the image of, in this particular case, Seussical, and you see here it says, take this image from Seussical, create a stained glass style image inspired by the poster. Now, you want to be careful, because if you look here, the ChatGPT sometimes makes mistakes, and you have two U's in Seussical, which I think is hilarious. So then I went to Wicked and I asked for a stained glass inspired image. And this is what it gave me. And this is what we're going to use today. And then I thought, oh, let me just go down. And then I gave this Little Shop of Horrors image and I got this. And I thought, oh, that's really fun. And then I started looking again. I thought, oh, Phantom of the Opera might be a good one. And I got this image. And then I asked to remove the Little Shop words because I thought, oh, I'd rather just do the image there. So that's basically how I started this process in ChatGPT. Okay, to start off, we're going to use, now you can use anything for your base, for your, stained glass, faux stained glass panel. I'm actually using transparency film. I happen to have it, but you could use acrylic pieces that are widely available at craft stores. You could use even the glass that you get inside the frame itself that you're going to use. So whatever works for you. I got 8.5 by 11 because I'm planning to use an 8.5 by 11 frame. Now in this particular case, I'm using gallery glass. This is like a faux stained glass leading. It's kind of very much like the puff paint that you've used. In fact, you could use the puff paint, and that would certainly work fine too, especially if you use a black one. But you could use silver, and that would really look like leading, the silver leading. That would work. So, but I'm going to use this. And then I've got my image, and I've already taped my transparency film to the image. So the image is there. So this is the image that I'm going to do today. You can see, I hope you can see my light is being a little persnickety, but you can see where the stained glass like panels are. I'm actually going to eliminate the writing on this. I could have eliminated that in ChatGPT. I chose not to. Or actually afterwards I thought, oh, maybe I'll just do without, because the image I think is so clear. And then I'm going to actually tape this right to my countertop so it doesn't move. And I am going to probably move it quite a bit during the process so that I don't smudge my hand in the leading itself. All right, so I'm sorry that my light is right there. I apologize for that. Now I discovered, and I've used this kind of stuff multiple times, that you really want to kind of secure your hand or your wrist to the kind of the base of where you are, so that you can get a solid line, and you want to make sure that you get all that air out. Okay, so I'm actually kind of priming the tip here, And it's very much like that paint, like I was saying. So I'm going to, I'm off camera, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to start right on one of those black lines, and I'm going to try to get a straight line. Now I'm going to be honest, doesn't always work. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm just going to keep going all the way around, getting a line. Now, honestly, like I mentioned, I do stained glass as one of my hobbies, and my letting lines are not always perfect either. So it's okay if it's a little bit, just a little bit wonky. And so you have to add pretty consistent pressure to the bottle so that it continues to come out. Otherwise, you may find that you miss a spot and you'll have to go back, and it does then get a little bit clumpy. So literally, I'm just going to go around. I'm probably not going to do the bats that are in the image here. And I'm just going to go all the way around to this for the entire image. All right, and I'll come back and I'll show you where I'm at partway through. Okay, so I've got as much done as I can do, and if you notice, I did not do Elphaba's eyes. Galinda's eyes. I may actually kind of rework Elphaba's face too. The eyes are a little bit tricky, and like I said, I might do those with Sharpie and paint. So I'm going to let this dry. It's going to take about 24 hours or overnight to dry, and then we will continue with the stained glass part of it. So I've actually left this a couple of days. Schedule got away from me, and so this is all dry underneath on the top here for the panes of glass, I guess. And so now I'm going to actually paint in inside these little areas. Now I'm using just random craft paint that I have. I just got all sorts of different colors that might work. Some that are, kind of iridescent, kind of got a glaze there. Just random things that I have. I have a variety of paintbrushes. I have a paper plate that I'm using as my paint palette. Now, I want to let you know that it's going to take a couple of coats because it gets a little streaky if you've only done one coat. I apologize about my ring light there. But it gets a little streaky. And, if you're going to use this on a window, you do want to have, you'll see all those streaks in it, just kind of like when you're painting a wall, you want to have a couple of coats. Same thing here. So I'm going to start with the largest areas first. I think that'll be easier for me. And then I will move along. I've actually taped my acetate here to the image just so that I can turn it around while I'm working so I don't get my hand in the paint. All right, so let's get going. So I've added another layer, and now I'm just kind of adding some details. It's not meant to be like a real stained glass window, obviously, so I just thought I would add some details. I added some sparkle like here on Galinda's dress, and now I'm going to actually add some glaze. I had this glaze, just this kind of glaze here. You can buy it, it's a folk art, you can buy it at a craft store. So I thought I would add that to Elphaba's dress, just to get a little bit of kind of sparkle. The paint is drying kind of like a matte finish. I'd like to give it a little bit of kind of sparkle in here. So I'm just going to go along and just add a little bit of that to the dress that Elphaba is wearing. I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can. That it gives a little bit of just kind of little glitz. They are witches after all, you know. And so a couple things, like I had to add another layer to Galinda's hair. It kind of, like I said, it was cracking, and her hat was also cracking a little bit. So I did add a little bit there. And, you know, this is not meant to be like a real stained glass window. Those of you who know me know I actually, stained glass is one of my hobbies. And I love to be able to do these kind of faux treatments too. And you can actually get in the craft store, there are specific paints for this. And I've done that on, you know, windows in my house, for example. If you have like a bathroom window that you want to get a little bit more privacy, you could certainly do that on the window. I know my mom did that in her house because it just needed just a little bit of privacy, and she added just flowers and such, and it was really pretty. So I'm going to continue adding this. Look at this shimmer that gives to the dress for Elphaba, and then I'll come back. So I decided I wanted to add a little bit of dimension to Galinda's hair. So I'm going to do, I just did a little bit of just a dry brush with a darker, like almost like a brown, but now I'm going to actually go over it. Oh, that's a little too much. With a white, because I want to give it just a little bit of kind of depth. And I find that, like, it's not, I want her hair to be shiny. I know that she seems like the kind of character who would have shiny hair. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, this is like a little glaze. It's a similar glaze that I did on Elphaba's clothes. So I'm just adding a little bit, just to add a little bit of dimension here. I don't want it to be too flat. That's what happens, is the acrylic paint. That was, oh, I got some black in there. That was a bummer. The acrylic paint kind of is a little flat when it dries. So I just wanted to add a little bit of dimension there. I might do that. And I see with her hands, for example, I want to add just a little bit of extra color here. Because like I said, sometimes it cracks, and I want to make sure that we've got the color completely saturated in there. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna let this dry again, and we'll get to the finishing touches. Okay, here we go. Everything is dry, and you can see the kind of the pearlescent feel that it's got. You know, I was originally going to do the face on Galinda, and I started doing just the eyebrows here. And then I thought, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to give do the eyes. I'm afraid I'll mess it up, frankly. And it's not supposed to be exactly like the original. It's kind of more, you know, I don't know, like a faux stained glass interpretation. Now, I just want to show that when you paint, after you do the painting on here, sometimes you can paint over the kind of the leading, the faux leading. So you can just take a Sharpie and just kind of just use the side of it and just give it a little bit of just the black to just kind of highlight that leading look again. Although I actually don't mind the way it looks. I think it actually looks pretty cool. So here's the original, the Little Shop version. And then this one, again, just kind of taking the brush, just doing kind of the side, just to give it a little bit of the leading back. So you can see up here, like I got some paint on there, etc. So that's basically it. Then you can take these and frame them and put them up in, a window, or put it as a room divider. I've done that before. Or do some sort of a decoration on a door, for example, with them in frames. I just think these are so cool. Just taking, it doesn't have to be a show like this. It could be something like, an image that you took from vacation, or something like that, or a picture of your house, or the lake that you spent your summer at, or whatever. I just think that's just such a cool way of kind of taking it and putting your own spin on it. So I hope you try these, and if you do, please send me images so I can see what they look like. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's theater craft, and I will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.